when Shraddah moved to a different city with her boyfriend and cut communications with her family and friends a few months thereafter, her worried father visited the police station and filed a missing persons report. This report would soon lead to the discovery of one of the most gruesome murders in India's history. This is the story of Shraddah Walkar. Hi ladies and gents, welcome to the Ayira Faith channel. As usual, I am Ayira, and if you're watching me, it must be Tuesday. You know what that means? It means it's time for True Crime Tuesday. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Ayira again, and on Tuesdays I post on true crime stories all over the world. So if that's your vibe, please consider subscribing to this channel because it does help me out, and I appreciate you watching this video, and I appreciate your patronage with me on this journey. And yes, in my last video I did promise that in my next video, which is this one, I'm going to shout out to my new subscribers. I've gotten quite a number of new subscribers from my last video, and I thank you all so very much. But most of you have set their subscription list to private, so I can't mention you because I don't know your names. I only know that you've subscribed, and I thank you so much. Please continue supporting me. But for those that I could actually see their names, so I'm going to shout out to them and just say thank you. So number one, Innocent Oyet, thank you so much. Elaine M Kitchen and Shows, thank you so much. Mash Ken, thanks a bunch. And Said Ahmed Hassan, thank you all so very much. Please continue watching. Please comment and also hit the notification bell so that every time I post, you guys are notified. Okay, so without further ado, I think I need to start today's story. Today's story is a very big one. It's a heavy one. Not just because of the kind of crime that was committed, but also because of the people involved and the people also left behind. It's a very heavy case, so prepare yourself. Are you ready? Prepare yourself. So our story today happens in New Delhi, the capital of India, but it starts in Vasai, Mumbai. We meet Shraddah Walkar. She was born in 1995 to Vikas and Suman, and she has a little brother by the name Shridhar. Her father runs an electronic service business, and he often travels up and down the country. So he's not with the family often, but he tries to be as present as he can, and he's a very loving father to his kids, and he makes sure he provides for his family. So Shraddah was described as a very vibrant child, a very happy child. She was very smart. She was a straight A student. Shraddah loved music, loved dancing, loved drama. So she was always active in school. She went to convent school for primary and high school. And for university, she went on to study Bachelor of Management Studies. Fast forward to 2018, she's in Malad, Mumbai, and she works at a call center. She's 23 years old at this moment, and she joins a dating app by the name Bumble. I know most of you know this app, the Bumble app. So she's trying to meet someone. She's trying to be in a romantic relationship. And she happens to meet a guy by the name Aftab on the same Bumble app. And the moment she meets him, she's completely taken over by him. Completely. I mean, Aftab was handsome, he was gentle, he was caring, he knew how to treat a woman. He said the right things, he did the right things, he took her to the right places, he surprised her with gifts and romantic dates. I mean, he was everything a perfect guy would be, everything a girl dreamed of. So the more Shraddah got to know him, the more she fancied him, or the more she liked him and fell deeper and deeper in love with him. She found out that they are very similar in a lot of aspects. Number one, both of them were born and grew up in Vasai. Number two, they were both firstborns in their families, and they had younger brothers, both of them, and they had gone to college and studied the same course. And what is funny is that they worked in the same place, the same call center in Malad, Mumbai, but they had actually never met in person. They met on the app, and then physically, after chatting in the app and exchanging numbers, then they went for a date, and they were talking, and they found out, oh my god, we work in the same place. So it must have been a big employer. So a little bit about Aftab Punawala. He was born to Munira and Amin Punawala on 23rd June 1994, meaning he's 1 year older than Shraddah. He had a younger brother by the name Ahad Punawala. He went to St. Francis High School and later on went to university and took the Bachelor of Management Studies course, just as Shraddah did. His father ran a wholesale business that sold shoes, and he was very passionate about food. So while he was working at the call center, he and his brother opened this Instagram page called the Hungry Chokra _escapades. It's basically a food blog, and it was very popular. It had close to, I think, a little bit over 28,000 followers. So that was his food blog. He used to go to restaurants and have meals and post reviews online, and also post pictures of meals that he had all over India. So this was Aftab. So they met in 2018, late 2018. In 2019, by the start of 2019, they were dating. So in January of 2019, these two were involved. They were in a romantic relationship, and it must have gone pretty well, because in October of that same year, they moved in together. They got a house in Versailles and moved in together. This decision did not sit well with their parents from both sides. And Shraddah's father was concerned because his daughter barely knew this man, yet she decided to move in with him. Another aspect for both families that was disturbing to them was the fact that this was an interfaith relationship. You see, Aftab was a Muslim and Shraddah was Hindu. So that relationship was frowned upon by both parents, and they didn't want them to stay together. They didn't want them to be in this relationship. So there was a lot of tension from Shraddah's parents, and also at the same time from Aftab's parents. But the couple felt like this was true love, and they felt like they needed to do this for themselves, and they just needed to live their lives independent of their parents. So they ignored all those concerns, especially Shraddah, and they moved in together in 2019, got a house in Versailles, and moved in there. Unfortunate to say, the love kind of soured soon thereafter, because Aftab started physically assaulting Shraddah. He used to beat her anytime they had a quarrel, and they would quarrel about anything from infidelity to household expenses, like who would settle what, who would pay for what. And every time they had a quarrel, he would beat her up. And at first, Shraddah hid this from her family and friends, maybe because she was embarrassed, and maybe because she thought she loved him, and she thought it was a mistake and he would not do it again. But then he always ended up doing it again. And every time he beat her, of course, he apologizes and buys her gifts and tells her it will never happen again. I promise I'll never do this to you. I don't know what happened to me. I don't know why I did it. I'm very sorry. And she would forgive him because, she loves him. But then he would do it again and again and again. And it got to a point where Shraddah felt like her life was in danger. And so she had to actually say something, because either it was he beats her up and then apologizes and begs for forgiveness, begs her to come back, and she does, or he blackmails her and threatens her and tells her, if you tell anyone, you're dead. If you tell anyone about this, if you go to the police, if I get arrested, once I get bail, once I get out, you're dead. I'm going to finish you. So it was a mixture of love and also fear that made her stay quiet for a while. But eventually she had to speak up because in November of 2020, she was actually beaten pretty badly and she was hurt pretty badly. She sustained a fracture on the bridge of her nose. She also had some neck injuries and back spine injuries, and she actually had to go to the doctor. So she texted a friend that was also a colleague at work, asking for help and informing them that she would not be able to come into work that day. And you can see the screenshots of that conversation on the screen right now. So let me just read through quickly. This was on 24th November, sorry. So the beating happened yesterday on 23rd November. And she's like, so yesterday everything got sorted after going to his parents' house. I will tell you the meaning of this statement just in a bit. And the next one, she says he's moving out today. That is at 12:59 p.m. And then she writes, and I won't be able to make it today because because of the beating yesterday. I guess my BP, blood pressure, is low and my body hurts. And then she says something in her native tongue. And then the next message, she says, also, I need to make sure he moves out today. Sincere apologies for the trouble I have caused you and the way it impacted work. And she also goes on to say, I need to do some more rounds to the police station in a while now, so I can't come today. And then she sends a photo of her injuries and says, this is proof since I'm taking leave because of this. And the friend says, hey, call you in 10 minutes, getting ready for work. And she says, okay, no, I just wanted to inform you about what is happening. So back to the first message where she said, so yesterday everything got sorted after going to his parents' house. So on 23rd, he had beaten her pretty badly and she sustained the injuries that I said she did. So she went, of course, to the hospital and also went to the police station to report. And when she came back, his parents, I think, talked to her and asked her to withdraw the charges. And they actually persuaded her that what happened was a mistake and it will not happen again. And of course, apologized for their son and begged her to forgive him. But her only condition was that I'm going to forgive him, I will withdraw the case, but on one condition, he has to leave the house. He has to leave the house. Like, I'm done, it's over, which was good for her. But then there's another text message where she sends a picture to one of her other friends, and her friend asked, what's happening with your nose? And she lies. I think maybe she was embarrassed or something. This is it. She says, see, it's not very long though. And the friend says, Jesus, what happened to your nose, love? Fell or something? And she says, fractured it. Ouch. Yes, I tripped while climbing the stairs, which is a lie. She was beaten by Aftab. And then the friend says, getting better? She says, yes, it's almost healed. Maybe a couple of more weeks. And the friend says, perfecto. So this shows she was in a very difficult situation. She loves this guy. At the same time, she's embarrassed to tell people about what is happening, but she's also scared for her life and she needs help. She needs people to help her. So eventually on 23rd, she went to hospital to get treated for this, the beating that she received. And you can see the admission record right there. She went to Ozone Multi-Speciality Hospital. And you can see some of the symptoms. They say she has severe back pain, nausea, neck pain, difficulty in movement of neck, and tingling and numbness in lower abdomen and lower limb. So she was treated for all this. And as far as anyone else knew, Aftab had left the house, even though she had withdrawn the case. Another thing, I'd like to read a statement that she wrote when she visited the police station to report on the assault against her by Aftab. When she went there, this is part of her statement, and it reads as below. And she says, "Today he tried to kill me by suffocating me, and he scares me and blackmails me that he will kill me, cut me up in pieces, and throw me away. It has been 6 months he has been hitting me, but I do not have the guts to go to the police because he would threaten to kill me." End quote. So that was part of Shraddah's statement on that day to the police. But eventually, upon being convinced by Aftab and her family and his family, she later on went and withdrew this statement and actually withdrew the charges. All and well, so long as they are broken up, right? And Aftab is out of the house, right? No. They moved from Mumbai to Delhi in January of 2022. These beatings were happening in 2020 November, and he has been beating her since they moved in together, that is in October of 2019. But she still went on with the relationship, and in 2022 January, they moved from Mumbai to Delhi. Of course, upon protest from her family, she ignored everyone and moved and cut ties with her own family. In other words, she chose this man. So don't ask me why she did what she did. I don't know. There could be many factors involved, but I don't know. It's complicated. I cannot judge her and her actions at the moment because I don't know what she was going through. I'm not in her position. I do not feel the fear. I do not feel the pain that she felt at that particular point in time. And I don't know why she made the decisions that she made. But all in all, she moved with him to Mumbai. So in April, they planned a trip to visit locally within India just to relax and get to rekindle their love. And it was basically Aftab's way of saying, "I'm sorry for all the pain I've put you through, for all the beatings that I have inflicted on you, and I hope this trip fixes us and we get back to the way we were in the beginning." So they got for this trip. And a friend of hers later on said that she told her during this trip they fought all through. They were fighting and arguing about infidelity and anything and everything. Like the whole trip was just supercharged and there was a lot of tension. So it wasn't really a bonding vacation like they thought it would be. In fact, it was even worse. When they came back, it was like it's over. They are broken up. And she told her friend, "I'm done. I'm just waiting for May 16th, which was their anniversary date. And I'm going to tell him I do not want to be in this relationship anymore and I am leaving. I'm gone. Like it's over." So May 16th comes and passes, and nobody hears from Shraddah. A friend of hers once talked to her on IG chat, like a month after May, like mid-June. But after that, there was total silence. And he had not heard from Shraddah in like 2.5 months. Remember, she's not speaking to her family. She cut ties with her family because of Aftab. So they have not been speaking. So the family do not expect calls from her regularly or otherwise. They do not expect to be speaking to her. So the family do not know that she's gone. Radio silence. It is her friend who notices because they have been communicating. So the friend calls the dad and the brother and tells them, "I've not heard from Shraddah in 2.5 months and I'm worried about her. Something might be happening. Something might be going on with her. Please check on her." And the brother and the father try to reach her and they can't. So the father in Versailles, not in Mumbai, in Versailles, goes to the Versailles police station and makes a missing persons report and tells them, "My daughter is missing. I've not heard from her in a while. She went to Mumbai with this guy and I'm worried for her safety. I'm scared that something might have happened to her." So of course, since she was last seen in Delhi, the case is transferred to Delhi. So when her father makes this claim or this report, of course, the first thing the police would do was to get the last person that they were told she was with, which is Aftab. So they call him in on 26th October and they question him and they ask him, "We are looking for your girlfriend. Where is she?" and she said they had a quarrel on 22nd May. And Shraddah left the house very angry, and he suspects that Shraddah is seeing other men because they have had infidelity issues in their relationship and she was cheating. So she left the house with nothing but her phone, and he has not heard from her ever since. And he's suspecting that she's with one of her men, her boyfriends. So they let him go. They don't have any grounds to hold him. And then they bring him back to the police station, that is on 3rd November, and question him again. But this time, the cops had done their homework. They had ammunition to use against him. So they ask him the same question, where is Shraddah? And he gives the same answer. The last time I saw her was 22nd May, and she left with her phone only. And then I've never seen her since then. And they ask him. So they tell him, we tracked Shraddah's phone. And on 26th of May, there was a transaction from her bank account to your bank account of 54,000 rupees, which is approximately 90,000 Kenyan shillings. So she transferred 90,000 Kenyan shillings or 54,000 rupees from her bank account to yours on 26th May. And on 31st May, there were chats from her phone on her IG to her friend on that 31st of May. And when we pinged the phone's location at that moment of the chat and at that moment of the transaction, the phone was found to be in your house. So if Shraddah left your home on 22nd May and left with nothing but her phone, how come the phone pinged at your house on 26th and on 31st May? You need to tell us what is going on. How come the phone pinged at your place? And he was in denial. He was like, I don't know.